Hello everybody, this is me, Gabriel, and welcome to my lab. In this video, I want to discuss the fact that I bought a PS5 Pro around 4 months ago. I want to let you guys know whether or not I think it was worth buying the PlayStation 5 Professional. So because I really hate dragging on with the video, I'll just tell you right off the bat that yes, I really liked buying the PS5 Pro. But it might not be for the reasons you may be thinking. So to start things off, why did I buy a PS5 Pro? Well, it's actually a complicated story. In December 2023, I finally managed to make enough money to buy a PS5, which is now called the PS5 Fat. But at the time, I was getting kind of frustrated because I was thinking that I came to the PS5 with the wrong expectations. See, before the PS5, I had an Xbox Series S, which was the first current gen console I had access to. Also loved the thing, by the way, but I eventually sold it to go back to playing on my PC. Then, when I went on to the PS5 in 2023, I tried to treat it like I treated the Xbox, a Game Pass machine. I immediately signed up for PS Plus and downloaded so many games that my storage was so full on the first day. Well, it didn't work out and I started missing the Xbox. So I actually sold that PS5 and bought myself a brand new Xbox Series X, and this is where things started going downhill, and not because of the Xbox, but because of me. See, I loved the Xbox Series X so much. The fact that I could play Xbox OG, Xbox 360, Xbox One and Series X games in just one machine was so appealing to me. For someone who really enjoys retro games and old games, I was really on it. But a few months passed and I started seeing the news that Xbox would not make a next-gen console, that Xbox was dying, which we all know that it's fake news by now. So I started getting desperate and I decided to quit it at all costs. After all, I didn't make enough money to have all of the consoles I wanted, so I couldn't invest all my money in games for a console that I wasn't even sure how long it would be supported for. So I got desperate, and this is where things really started going down. I met a guy online that wanted to swap a PS5 with a Series X, so my initial thought was, hell yeah, let's do it. And everything went smoothly. I got his PS5, he got my Xbox, everything was alright. But the PS5 he gave me had a small detail that I only noticed when I opened it up to install an SSD. It had some oxidation in the inside, probably because the guy must have lived near a beach or something. When I noticed this after a few months of having it, I started getting desperate again. And this was around September 2024. I was getting really hyped for the 2025 games like GTA 6 and Death Stranding 2, but also getting so afraid that my PS5 would simply stop working anytime and that I wouldn't be able to play those amazing games. So I decided to sell this PS5 for a lower price and buy a PS5 Slim, which had recently been released a few months prior. It was nice. It was smaller, which was a big win for me. It had a few extra gigabytes of SSD, and the most important thing, it would be a new console that I knew would work in 2025 without being oxidized on the inside. But then the thought struck me, well, if I'm already selling my PS5 for a lower price because of those details, and I'll need to spend some extra bucks to get the Slim, I might as well just shoot for the Pro. And so I did. I used a few more extra dollars and just went for the PlayStation 5 Professional. So after this entire lore of my experience with consoles in the past year, maybe you now understand that I didn't have big expectations for the PS5 Pro and that I was simply getting the most powerful version because it was available, I guess, and it made more sense to me at the time. See, I was never the kid to have the coolest version of something. I'd always have the previous console generation, I'd always have the most basic version. I'd never have the cool accessories. I literally bought the PS3 when the PS4 released because it was just so much cheaper. So this was a very special moment for me because for the first time, I was the kid to have cool stuff. I was the kid who had the shiniest new version of something, so I already felt good initially because of that. Now, finally, let's talk specifically about the PS5 Pro. I honestly don't care too much about 60 FPS. I mean, it's nice, but if I can choose between the 30 FPS quality mode and the 60 FPS performance mode, 90% of the time I'll just go for quality mode, simply because I care way more about graphics rather than performance. So yeah, it's very nice to play games such as Final Fantasy VII Rebirth with the Pro Enhanced mode because the image is so clean and so smooth and it runs at a perfect 60 FPS. It just makes the game shine. Like, I literally couldn't get the image to be this clean on the base PS5 because even on the quality mode, you'd have some weird things going on with the trees and the pop-in. Like, I don't know, it just felt wrong for some reason. On a Pro, it literally feels flawless. The image resolution is so sharp and defined when you're looking at it on your own TV is crazy. But to me, where the PS5 Pro really shines is when you use one of the Pro Enhanced games that have new quality mode with extra features. Man, I just can't describe how good Alan Wake 2 looks on the Pro quality mode. It's crazy. I wish I had played a game like this because it looks just so stunning. They added ray tracing, the resolution is really high, the smearing from FSR is practically gone. It's an understatement to say that it looks better than the base version. Silent Hill 2 Remake is another example to me. When I opened this game on my 4K TV, I literally could not believe how sharp the game was on the quality mode. This is another game I feel makes a huge difference to not use FSR, because the smearing really kills the graphics in these recent titles like Silent Hill 2. And the image is insanely sharp. Like, I remember before buying the PS5 Pro, I used to watch videos on YouTube from Digital Foundry and other channels, and I watched all of them in my TV in 4K and all that, but seeing it rendered directly to your TV is just a whole other experience. It really feels stunning as heck. And again, like this year, 2025, there will be so many great games coming, man, like GTA 6, Death Stranding 2, the new remake for Metal Gear Solid 3, which I'm still not sure if it'll be good or not, the new Silent Hill game. Like, there are so many great games with great graphics coming, and I can't wait to play them on my PS5 Pro. So I think that a lot of people were disappointed by the PS5 Pro because, one, it's expensive as hell, and I agree with that, and two, it wasn't that much of a big improvement over the base version. Like, I think that the reason why the graphics are so much better are mostly because FSR just sucks. Like, I know that a lot of people like FSR, but you just have to admit that FSR looks really subpar when compared even to like XeSS from Intel and DLSS and now PSSR. Like, FSR is just really subpar when it comes to quality, and like literally all of the recent games use that. Like, seriously, Black Myth Wukong just looks so smeary with FSR, and I don't think it's the PS5's fault. Like, the PS5, even the base PS5, are really like crazy fast, you know, but like, it's just that games are now relying on these things to be able to render, and I don't think that the PS5 Pro is necessarily like much more powerful. It is more powerful than the PS5. It's just that like games look better simply because of PSSR and like a few extra gigabytes that they put there on the VRAM and a slight faster CPU clock and a few like extra ray tracing cores also do help like with the new shiny features. But after all, it's not like the improvement that was from the PS4 to the PS4 Pro. Like, it's a much smaller gap here, and it only enlarges because of PSSR. And also the fact that you need to buy the disk drive separately is a complete joke. I did buy because I have some games in physical media, but like, I was really disappointed by this. But to be very honest with you, considering how expensive graphics cards are now in my country, I pretty much kind of gave up on PC gaming. I basically lived most of my gamer life on the PC since after the PS2 generation. My excuse was always the fact that I could get better graphics for a cheaper price on the games, but now the GPUs are so expensive and games are costing the same on PC, it's getting really hard to want to continue on the PC. Like, I still really enjoy playing old games on the PC. It's something I actively do, and like all the emulators and all the kind of thing is really good. But for these recent AAA games, I don't know, man. Kudos to you guys with an RTX 1590, but I just don't have the disposable income for something like this, at least not in my country. Like, just so you have an idea, the PS5 Pro cost me less than what an RTX 4060 Ti 16GB variant alone would cost. I know the PC gamers hate this GPU with passion, but it would probably be the one I'd shoot for if I were building a PC right now. Or 4070 if I found one at a reasonable price, or even one of the new AMD GPUs. I think they're called RX 9070. They're really good, but like if they're available here, they'll be much more expensive than the PS5 Pro, last time I looked at least. So the PS5 Pro just felt right for me, and I'm happy that it was a good choice. I feel like it was worth buying, and I'm also curious to see what the new Xbox will be like, because I think we're finally reaching that era where each console will try their own spin at gaming, and I think this is really awesome. So to summarize, I really like the PS5 Pro because I can play the newest, shiniest games with amazing quality. I don't care too much about 60 FPS, but I also really like the new additions to quality modes like ray tracing and better resolutions, and not relying on FSR to reach that 4K. Like, it makes a huge difference when you're actually seeing that on your big TV. It cannot be overstated enough. So that was it. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time. Bye bye.